Today we're going to be making some corned beef and ground provision and dumpling. Here we have our supplies. We have some yam, some green banana, a boniato root, and we'll make the dumplings later. So here we are peeling the boniato root. I am not the best at like picking out provisions. I feel like when I was home, I had more like guidance and knew how to pick like the ground provisions better. Now I'm kind of like struggling because I'm out of practice because I don't eat them as often. But basically we just peel the boniato root, and then we're gonna peel our yam, and we're gonna put on some water to boil so that we can get all this stuff cooked. Once we've peeled it, we're just gonna cut it into big chunks. And then we're gonna peel our yam. As you can see, I did kind of a terrible job picking this piece of yam. I feel like it's all bruised up. I could have did a better job. But if you guys have any tips on how to pick out a piece of yam, feel free to put them in the comments because your girl definitely don't know. My dad's a farmer. He actually plants yam, and I feel like he would be so disappointed. But don't judge me. I tried my best with picking out the stuff in the store. So here I am just trying to cut off the bad parts of it to just make it like get to the portions of it that can be cooked. So we're just gonna go through and just kind of clean it up and chop it into big chunks just like we did with the boniato root. And then we're gonna do the bananas. Now, if you are lazy like me and you do not want to have to go through the hassle of peeling the skin off the banana, you can actually just cut them and score them and boil them in the skin. It's actually really good for like storing it if you don't eat the green bananas right away, because then the skin makes the banana retain the moisture if you have to keep it in the fridge. So because I don't want to go through the hassle, I just cut them, score them, and then I boil them in the skin, and then the skin just comes right off. So here we have our water that we are setting to boil. We've added salt to the pot. We're going to add a little bit of cooking oil to the pot. I'm not even really sure why we add the cooking oil to the pot. I don't remember. I'm sure they explained it to me as a kid, but I honestly don't remember, to tell you the truth. But I just know cooking oil goes in there, and then you rinse all the produce off, and then you boil it. So here we're just putting everything in the pot. We're putting our green bananas, our yam, our boniato root, all in the pot. So now we're gonna go over to the side and we're gonna start making our dumpling. We're just gonna put some flour. I am guesstimating. I am not the best at making dumplings. Don't judge me for using a spoon to mix everything. I just don't really like touching the dough like right in the beginning phases when it's super mushy. So I typically tend to start it with a spoon, and then I will go in with my hands once it gets like a little bit more solid and it's not as mushy, because I can't deal with like the flour all over my hand. But before you make dumplings, you always want to make sure that you wash your hands really clean, just because you're going to basically be all in the dough with your hands. So you just want to make sure you wash your hands really clean. So I am I overestimated the water, so I had to add some more flour. But it's all kind of guesstimating when you're making dumplings. I'm sure there are people out there who know like the exact measurement to make exactly how many dumplings, but I'm just an amateur, so I just try and make it the best that I can. I just do flour and water. I don't actually put salt in there because I put salt in the pot. Some people put salt in the dumplings, but I don't even bother with that. It's fine with just the flour and water. And you're gonna knead your dough up, and once it's all kneaded properly, then you are going to make the little balls to put in the boiling water with your produce. See, I'm still having to add more flour because I'm not great at estimating. I think I put way too much water. But eventually I get it together and it's the right consistency. And then you just add them to the pot. So here we have our pot. It's boiling. So now we are going to just roll the dough into small balls, kind of press them flat, and just drop them in. Dumplings are easy to make. It's the dough that is challenging to try to make sure you get the right consistency. But once you get the dough to the right consistency, just making the little rolls and putting them in the pot is super easy. So since it's not a lot of us eating it, we're not making too much dumplings. And I'm more of a produce person than a dumpling person. So once we're finished here, we're gonna start prepping the stuff for the corned beef. So we are going to cut up our veggies. We have our onion, bell pepper, scallion, thyme, tomato, and some minced garlic. I do add some pepper, but I forgot to put it right here. You'll see me go back and add it later, but I just kind of chop up everything. And then add them to a preheated pan that has a little bit of oil and kind of saute them. So here we have our pan that's already heated. We're gonna add about a tablespoon of minced garlic. And you can see it sizzling there. Then we are going to add all of our chopped up veggies. And we are going to saute all of the chopped up veggies in the oil for a few minutes. And then we will cover it. But we're just gonna saute everything, stir everything around, kind of break them apart. And then you can see our pot of food is bubbling. So we're in good shape. So because I forgot the pepper, I just cut a small piece of habanero pepper because that's what we have available here in Texas. No Scotch bonnet, so we just kind of improvise. Then we're gonna open our corned beef I don't know why I always take the paper off before I open it. And the most important thing when buying corned beef is to make sure that it has the key so you can get the can open. When I was a kid, it took me like several tries before I would get it to go in a straight line. But now I'm an adult and I'm all accomplished, so I just get it in a straight line on the first try. But you're gonna open your corned beef and you're gonna add that to your sauteed veggies. All right, so we're just gonna add that to our pan and then we are going to break it up. So we're just gonna use a spoon. There's no need to kind of cut it up because it just kind of comes apart once it's heated through thoroughly. So we're just gonna kind of make it into chunks and mix it in with our sauteed veggies. And once it's simmered down, it will break apart even more. We're just gonna add a little bit of ketchup and then we are going to mix it all together and then cover our pan, put it on medium-low and let it just kind of simmer and break down, soak up the veggie flavor. So we're going to add a can of sweet kernel corn to our corned beef. Some people prefer cabbage, some people prefer corn. Comment below and let me know if you are a corned beef and cabbage person or a corned beef and sweet corn person. I like both, but I feel like I kind of lean towards the sweet corn. Then we're gonna go ahead and cover this up. Let it simmer. We're gonna add a little black pepper and a couple of seeds of pimento. Okay, looks like our food is almost done. I think we're pretty much ready to serve. And here we have our end product, a tasty way to have lunch or dinner. It's a little bit on the heavier side, but still a great meal. If you try it out, feel free to comment below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.